It always makes people laugh. And just like that, it's September. In today's video, we are talking about self-care, specifically physical self-care. Getting right into it, one of the things that I've definitely had to shift my focus on at this point in my life after turning 40, after turning 45, was self-care. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but for me there are a few main aspects of self-care, including my physical health, so what I'm putting into my body as well as what I'm doing on the outside to take care of it. My mental health and well-being, how I'm managing stress. My kids are starting to leave the house, like how I'm dealing with that. And then self-discovery, as I've gotten older, I've changed a lot of the things that I used to like in my 20s. I don't really like in my 40s. And just embracing who this new person is. I'm going salt and pepper, or I guess it's more salt now, learning to appreciate that. And then the last thing is back more towards the physical, like how I maintain this look as I age. I'm thankful to be able to age. Definitely beats the alternative. However, I want to do it gracefully, and that may look like different things for different people. For me, it's just trying to give myself a little more time as this aging process happens. And a few years ago, back in 2019, I noticed my eyebrows were doing this disappearing act. They just woke up one day and decided they didn't want to participate anymore. And I felt like it made me look really older than I was, and decided to do something about that. So in today's video, and I'll post the original video that I posted back in 2020 when I had the original process done. But today I'm posting an update. When I originally got them done in 2020, I did what was called a Nanobrow, and then I got a touch up in 2021, and we moved over to a powder brow, which was a more natural look. And you can see what that looks like here. So I'm on day 10 of a touch up after 2 years. And I've got fresh face. I just got out of the shower. I have on some moisturizer and some sunscreen. And this is what they look like. So, and this was my goal, just to achieve something to help me frame out that part of my face. And if I needed to run up to the grocery store or a quick errand, I didn't feel like I needed on a full face of makeup, but I still looked and felt like I looked like presentable to the world. So let's go ahead and start, and I'll take you through the process. Today, what's making me happy is self-care. I'm here with my girl, Carrie from Brows and Beauty A Go-Go. I've been a long time customer and fan of hers. So I thought it would be nice to bring you along on my retouch today. So a few years ago, it was 2020, in fact, I remember, because I was on my way to Gasparilla, and there was all this buzz about like stuff that was going around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was my first visit with Carrie, and she did, back then I think we did a nano blade.
Yeah.
And then when we did a retouch, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about that, we changed over to a powder brow.
Yes.
Which I absolutely loved, and it's been too long, so I definitely need to get a touch up. So Carrie, thank you so much for letting me bring my cameras in today.
Of course.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. My name's Carrie. I am originally from Orlando. I've been a cosmetic tattooist for almost 10 years. Moved my business over this way in 2019, and 2020 was interesting. That's when we met, and we started with Nanobrows. She's correct.
Yeah.
Which is just hair stroking done by a machine and not a microblade. So the difference really is the lasting power and the amount of scar tissue that is caused in the skin with a blade versus a machine. So I use a machine for everything. Pigment remains more stable in the skin. It lasts longer. It just ages more gracefully, and they look better longer. Now, the reason why we transitioned from nano to powder is because nano brows don't really give the effect of like makeup. So it's not going to replace your brow pencil. It's going to help. It's going to create a level of density that makes them look a little bit fuller. But it is ultra natural, and the goal of it is not to look necessarily dense and made up. Most people are coming, I think your goals originally were natural, and I don't want to wear makeup all the time.
Right.
So through that experience of living with that style of brow for about a year, you start to recognize that, okay, these are really natural. I have a base and a foundation for my makeup, but I'm not necessarily completely eliminating that pencil or that brow powder.
Right.
The other thing is that they fade faster. So
Yes.
it's been, what, like 2 years?
It's been like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize it had been that long, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when they're there, they're there.
Right.
So, and when your life is easier, it's, you know.
You don't think
It's
about
easier,
it. Right?
exactly. But with the Nano, I think you were back in like exactly a year.
Yep.
Yeah. So that just kind of says everything.
Yep.
Nano is, although we're not doing microblading, which I personally feel in Florida does not last at all. Microblading is one of those things where it's what I started with. I would see clients coming back within 3 to 6 months for a retouch.
Wow.
Which is, it's you know, more money,
Yeah.
more time. The goal here is longevity and to make your life easier. So I don't want to be the person providing a service that's like getting your hair done where you're here every 8 weeks. That's not how it's supposed to be. And I found that with microblading, because of the sun, the humidity, we tend to be a little bit more oily.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work well here. It can be done beautifully. I've seen it done beautifully, but I do feel like it's a better service kind of in a drier climate, less humidity, less sun. So like Canada.
Right. Right.
But, you know, you'll hear something different from everybody. That's just been my experience with what I've gathered over time.
Well, and that's one of the things that drew me to you, because I did a lot of research before I decided to do this a few years ago, and Carrie was so knowledgeable about not only her craft, but even about like people with melanated skin, because I was worried about maybe keloiding and things that a lot of other people just couldn't answer my questions. So she is the only person that I let touch my face.
Thank you.
And so I'm excited to get this done.
So
today.
am I. And that is our biggest, it's one of the things we pride ourselves on, is just educating you guys, because there are so many people doing this. There are so many different versions of it and different names, and you're going to hear things like micro shadowing and, you know, just different like hybrid words for what is all kind of the same thing. Everybody just kind of brands themselves differently. So what we're doing today is a powder brow retouch. And again, she had Nano at first. It lasted about a year. We moved her into powder. It mimics a little bit more of like eyebrow powder. It's what I have. You can kind of, you know, come to the conclusion that if your artist has it, it is probably the elite service.
That's how we do.
Yes, exactly. But you know, I'm also at almost a 2-year mark, so it lasts.
Yeah.
And it looks good. It doesn't ever get to a point where you're just like, yuck.
Right. No, I've never felt like, I wish I hadn't had this.
Right, exactly. And now it's removed the pencil, right?
Right.
You're not filling your brows in all the time.
Correct. Well, until like this last couple months where
Yes.
I really needed to get in here.
Yes.
But
yes.
until then, yeah, no. If I wanted to go heavier, I could for like a,
Yep.
you know, a makeup night.
Yep.
But normally, like, I get up, I can go really light with just like my foundation, sunscreen. I don't really wear foundation. I wear like tinted
BB cream kind of
right.
thing. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, some lashes, and I'm good to go because my face is framed out. So
Yes.
nicely.
And the goal with this is never to overpower you.
Right.
Like, I want you to wake up in the morning and feel like your brows are appropriate without anything else on, but they can carry like a fresh face makeup look, right? So if you're going out at night, you're going, you know, to a wedding or a big event, you may end up filling your brows in a little bit, but now you have a guide, and it's not an everyday thing. It should be an optional thing that you have to do. But, you know, the goal is natural. It's for you to look good when you get up in the morning, when you go to the gym, when you go to the beach. It's not the first thing that walks in before you do.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, that's
Awesome.
where we're at.
All right, let's get started.
Let's go.
All right.
these dead skin cells off so that we are working in healthy, intact skin. Okay, as far as shape goes, are you still happy with the shape? Just bring it back to life?
Yes.
Is there anything you want me to change?
Nope, I thought it was perfect.
Exactly where I want them to be.
Really?
Yes, they are. Because your front is so super soft, and the hair strokes that were there before have now since faded out. So now I'm not having to cover the hair strokes, and I can really feather that front in.
Yes.
Keep it nice and ombre.
Awesome sauce.
So if it was your first time and I had never touched you before, the mapping would have been a little bit more detailed, I guess would be the best word. But because the shape is already there, we're not changing the shape. I'm just making sure your high points and your start points, your tail, everything is still symmetrical on the face. But as far as like your shape goes, again, we're not doing a whole lot to it. I just wanted to make sure that everything is still where it needs to be, because as you know, our faces change with time.
Oh, yeah. I love it. That's awesome.
Well, you know, they're sisters, not twins.
Right.
So you can like overthink them into twins for hours.
Sisters, not twins.
You know how I break your skin first with the needle, and then I put the numbing on?
Yeah, I remember last time I was like, Carrie, I don't think you put the numbing on. And you were like, yeah, I know.
Ma'am, I'm pretty sure I'm not numb yet. So this is the little machine. We're getting ready to numb. Nothing scary.
That's what she says.
We're just gonna gently break the skin. Just a little bit of etching across the skin, a little bit of scratching. What does it feel like?
Scratchy.
Scratchy, yeah. Kind of like sandpaper.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a sandpaper or like a angry cat's tongue.
Yeah, you were the one that said cat's tongue. You know how I've been using that for 2 years.
Don't make me laugh while you got this thing on my face.
Like, what does it feel like? I'm like a cat's tongue. I couldn't remember where I got it. It's you. Other thing that happens when you use a really strong topical, which when it comes to like eyeliner and lips, of course I have to, you know, that skin is just super sensitive, so I can't just break the skin and jump in like I do with brows.
Right.
But it actually changes the texture of your skin, and it makes it almost like a more rubbery texture.
Okay.
Which in turn affects how you retain pigment and how it feels to me. Like the biofeedback to me feels different when there's numbing that is like over 5%. Just completely changes that texture of your skin. It dries it out a little bit. So it also just isn't my friend, it's yours.
Okay.
Right? So if I can like skip steps here and there that I know are going to give you a better outcome, I'm going to do it because that's the goal here. It's longevity, maybe a little bit of irritation for like 10 minutes.
Right.
You know, but for that to get you 2 years, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
So. Okay. Best thing ever looked.
Carrie, girl, you are.
You like them?
You are
Aren't
the
they
best.
Pretty?
Yes, they are.
Go get them. A couple spots, right? Is it okay? I'm just doing a little bit of pointless and it probably can't go much at all. Right? Okay. So your front bottom edge, I brought in like 0.5 millimeter,
Okay.
just so I can hit some virgin skin and give you an ombre.
Okay.
Okay. So once everything shrinks up and calms down, it's not gonna look, you know, off or like I did a whole lot of changes to them. It's just because they're fresh. Okay. So
Okay.
right now they probably look a little different, but it's intentional. It's so that when everything shrinks up, because not only do they shrink down, they also shrink in by about 20%.
Yes, they do. I remember.
So they're going to come in a little bit and stay real soft in the front, and then your edges are going to be real soft too.
Okay.
So you won't have any hard lining anywhere.
Yes.
Wow.
Our masterpiece is complete. Thank you, Carrie.
You're so welcome.
I am 10 days out, which is about what I need for my healing process. So I can take my hat off now and walk around, but this is what it looks like. Fresh face, no makeup. Wanted you to see. So that's it. I will definitely make sure I have Carrie's contact information in my description box if you are in the Bay Area and would like to meet with her for a consult. She has my 5-star seal of approval. She's fantastic at what she does. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and in the comment section, leave a comment about other things that you do for your physical self-care. Until next time, love and peace.